apparent moaning audio of Dream was revealed. I have no idea if it's him or not, but do you guys see how complicated the situation is? Well, it looks like
it's never sexy. What it is, San Diego? It's your boy Tyrone Copple, and today we're here to check out 10 YouTubers who beat their meat directly into their streaming equipment cameras. I mean, YouTubers who ruin their lives in seconds. Let's do this before somehow I get fired on my day off. Like Craig in the First Friday movie. Craig or Smokey. Definitely one of them.
Dream, real name Clay, who over the years has been an absolute force when it comes to Minecraft content. He's even been featured on Forbes, where they highlight his insane level of success. As of November 2023, when the article was written, he had over 3 billion total views, 31 million subscribers, and a Guinness Book World Record for the most viewed Minecraft video gameplay on YouTube. They also generously point out that, I quote, at his height, Dream was bringing in 200 million views per month, outpacing even the 140 million users who play Minecraft every month. If you were on YouTube around 2020, which I'm gonna be pretty sure a lot of you were, you would remember that when Dream initially blew up, you could not get away from that dude. His videos would find you on recommended no matter what niche you were looking up. It was honestly quite admirable, like seeing someone go from almost zero to nothing in the matter of a few months. But this article failed to mention any sort of allegations against Dream. He's been accused of these things for a little over a year now. I'm talking about the grooming allegations, which have severely weighed down his success. So what happened to this otherwise thriving YouTuber? Before I get into this, I gotta say that it seems like Dream has been accused of almost everything in the book. There are hundreds of Twitter threads explaining why Dream is a horrible person. And actually, while this video was being made, Dream uploaded his long-awaited response video to his main channel. So I'll try to summarize the allegations and his response as professionally as I can in this video. But I wouldn't do that without advising you first to make sure you watch his video whenever you get the chance. So when did this all start? Well, it all began on October 13th, 2022, when a burner account on Twitter @burner39413705 accused him of grooming and pedophilia. He was accused of grooming a 17-year-old girl using different social media platforms and iMessage. Now, the thing is, these weren't just baseless claims that could be ignored. They were backed up by screenshots and screen recordings as, quote, evidence. And getting straight into the evidence, I'm not going to read everything word for word, by the way. I'll highlight a few curious ones. For instance, in the Twitter DMs, allegedly, Dream asked her, "How old are you? Are you still in school?" Then in a text message, he tells her, "You should turn up come quarantine." To which she replies, "Nah, you probably got the Rona. I'll see you after quarantine." Which begs the question, why is Dream talking to a fan like that? Since he was inviting her over, it feels like a conversation that could have been headed elsewhere. More of the messages also prove this point. For example, in a text he says, "Quarantine be bringing the horny out of everyone. What the Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention that the girl in question is named Anastasia. Apparently, based on her claims, the messages took place in 2020 when she was 17 and Dream was 20. One of her tweets read, "None of it is appropriate for a, quote, fan and influencer to be this close, especially since I was still 17 and in school and he knew that. It crosses the line when he's sending me his huge house / inviting me." Now, that is obviously really concerning information, and this was back in 2020 when Dream was still a faceless YouTuber. I bring this up because Anastasia claimed that Dream only revealed his face because he was afraid that she would leak it first. Allegedly, Dream had revealed his face to her before his YouTube face reveal. Anastasia's claims, while being accepted as true by many, were also met with doubt by some who thought the DMs were fake. But these doubts were allegedly debunked, for instance in this Twitter thread by Sierra, who ties together the evidence that Dream's victims, Amanda and Anastasia, posted. Sierra shares a bit more screenshots of other people's interaction with the victim's account, Anastasia's friend for instance. This was to prove that the screenshots were not faked. But screenshots are messy. Anyone can inspect Element, anyone could Photoshop, and even when it comes to screen recordings, I'm pretty sure those could easily be fake too. But those are just my 2 cents. Let's keep going. Now, I said the name Amanda. Who is that? It's allegedly another grooming victim of Dream's. Apparently, she had been messaging with Dream between September 23, 2020 and January 2021. We're talking text messages. She shows the screenshots of their conversations. In January, they apparently moved to Snapchat, and she claims they sexted on there between January 17th and February 10th. During that time, she claims that Dream sent her a picture of his penis. However, she never saved those Snapchat conversations because she wanted Dream to trust her. The other girl, Anastasia, also claimed that some of the damning conversations were on Snapchat. Part of her tweets read, "The worst of flirt that I recall was on Snapchat, and obviously those delete." You can imagine the hate Dream was and still is getting. And he
never send a pic of your gooch to a female you were trying to smooch. I can assure you, even if it's big, you're pretty much shooting yourself in the balls.
Time Dream will tweet or does tweet, the replies are just calling him a groomer or a file. Dream did respond in a video stream and also on Twitter. On Twitter, on his alternate account, he said that it was all a friendly conversation with Anastasia, and to his knowledge, she was 18. He also said that some of the screenshots were real, but others, like the iMessage ones, were not because his iMessage number is not linked to his TikTok account. These responses are from a while back, but as recently as last month, he's still fighting off all these claims because new twists and additions keep cropping up. You can see in these tweets, for example, his take on it. In the main tweet, he says, "I've been harassed for almost a year due to a false accusation right after my face reveal. This person publicly said they'd be pressing charges and posting proof, but it could take days, and then went silent for a year and never did either while I waited and waited." Now, most recently, the Burner22 account popped up on November 20th, claiming again that Dream was messaging a minor inappropriately. This account is allegedly representing a person named Jamie, who they say left the internet in 2020. This is where an apparent moaning audio of Dream was revealed. I have no idea if it's him or not, but do you guys see how complicated the situation is? Well, it looks like the Burner22 account deactivated or just got deleted. I don't know. And like all the Dream fans are celebrating that they deactivated. As I was saying in the video, this is so complicated. This has been one of the most complicated things I'm researching, and it's not even a full video dedicated to it. Like I suggested before, make sure to watch Dream's video if you want all the information, and check out the threads on your own. Though I will let you guys know, some threads have been deleted, so make with that what you will. And this isn't the full story at all. There's a lot more to this. So his response video. Again, make sure to go watch that full thing yourself and form your own opinion. He breaks down the 3 main grooming allegations and some other stuff. Honestly, it's a pretty professionally laid out video, but it still leaves me confused. I personally don't like the editing, but I mean, he got his points across, you know? Just knowing about the Dream allegations since they started popping up, I literally hate to have been his friend while they were popping up. Though I don't know what to believe, I will ask the question, how do you have so many allegations on your name? What were you even doing? We've seen creators blow up just as fast, and they don't have any allegations of this degree on their name. As sad as it seems like there's just more cons than pros when it comes to messaging fans. And by no means am I saying these claims are false. I'm just saying this all could have been avoided if he just wasn't texting fans. And yes, I know it was when he was a smaller channel, and that's what makes this sentiment all that much harsher. This dude really was on top of the world at one point. He was even making content with Mr. Beast. Imagine the embarrassment of not only hundreds of millions of people hearing these accusations, but also your YouTuber friends as well. That's why they all get awkward when Dream is brought up, and I don't blame them.
Hi Tuppo, you have 3.5 million
Sherlock
followers
on BBC.
in Twitter. Do you think you could approach the Dream allegations topic at some point?
Okay, I'm gonna talk about this because this is serious now, and I've seen it a lot in the chat.
But I'm not Dream's friend, and if anyone cares of what I have to say, I think he's extremely irresponsible for the way he's handled these allegations up until this point. Now, I won't lie, I respect him facing the music head on with a main channel video, but the fact that it had to be made is embarrassing. Like I said before, I'm only summarizing for you guys. I really do urge you guys to check out the threads for yourself along with his video. They will be linked down in the description below. Anyway, let's head on to the next one. Boogie 2988. One of the most insane stories of YouTubers nuking their careers has to be that of Stephen J. Williams, aka Boogie 2988. I mean, this dude literally went from having millions of views per video to barely cracking the 10,000 view threshold, and the way he did that is a pretty messed up story of one terrible decision after another. So first things first, who is Boogie? Well, a very short summary is that he used to be one of the most popular YouTubers in the gaming scene with a really massive audience. We're talking about 4 million subscribers. His videos were essentially centered on his life and gaming stuff, constantly give life updates, showcase his gameplay, and rant about stuff while playing a character named Francis. And he was very charming while doing all of this. So charming that it was easy for people to love him with heartwarming comments like, "You're awesome, Boogie. Thanks for being a part of YouTube. And have a Merry Christmas." And nothing has made me laugh this much in a while. Ha ha ha. Keep it up, man. So how exactly did this one beloved creator turn into one of the most hated? That right there is a question that can be answered by a beautiful documentary by Mike Klum. Now, I'm obviously not gonna go over everything that has been said about him, but I just want to show you guys how messy this dude's life has been, particularly in how he managed, or more like mismanaged, his money to the point that he's on the verge of homelessness. So let's wind back a little bit. Boogie started his channel back in 2006. He made lots of videos, and somewhere around 2019, he was truly at the peak of his income game. Again, all along, at least for the first few years, he had been a charming, transparent, and entertaining creator. He made likable videos, for example this one, where he's talking about growing up poor and how this turned him frugal, and this one where he's discussing his YouTube income. FYI, in that video, published in 2016, he disclosed that he was making about $100,000 per year. year. Pretty good money, right? He also drew lots of sympathy in the 2015/2016 period as he underwent a gastric bypass surgery to solve his weight issues. Now, unfortunately, this is around the time when the tide began turning. First, he got divorced and became an emotional wreck. In fact, if you googled when Boogie's downfall began, you would probably find people agreeing that it was right after his divorce.
It's always about a woman.
Immediately.
Come on
the
now.
dip happened about 2 years later. In 2018, he made $498,000. In 2019, he made $152,000. In 2020, he made $72,300. In 2021, he made $46,250. And in 2022, he made $26,000. Now, interestingly, between 2018 and 2019, a user on Reddit that goes by Night Like Day apparently posted this now deleted thread that detailed all the awful things that Boogie has said for as long as he has been online, like a mega thread of all of Boogie's shit talk. And not just shit talk, it was a thread of his unhinged jokes and racist comments, including multiple uses of the N-word. And people began sharing it with brands, which in turn made him lose sponsors and hence the dip. Anyway, by 2022, the guy was making $26,000 a year with a monthly overhead of $7,000. His ex-wife had been the one budgeting for him and doing all the money stuff. So all of this is happening while bills are piling up. He has no money and doesn't know how to budget. This is how he ended up with car payments, mortgage, health expenses, etc. and no cash for any of it. Oh, and while at it, he buys random things he doesn't need. In the documentary, for instance, he says he heard his TV producing a crackling sound and immediately went to Amazon and bought a $100 sound bar, only to find out the next day that his TV was just fine. Anyway, given his really bad math, he has been forced to pawn off stuff just so he can pay his mortgage and cater to basic expenses. And again, just to emphasize how bad Boogie is at finances, he recently participated in a boxing match to try to raise some cash. He got paid $10,000 but had already spent more than $10,000 in the match preparedness process. Now, given that this dude has been on YouTube for 17 years, you might be curious as to where all of his saved up money went, right? Well, first there's what went with his wife. Then out of an estimated $750,000 he had, he put $600,000 of it into some random crypto and lost all of it. And that's not all. At some other point, he spent around $200,000 on prostitutes.
Way more.
That was about $40,000 a year on prostitutes. Beyond that, another natural question to ask is why doesn't he just make the money back on YouTube? Well, for him, that's kind of impossible. He has stepped on so many toes that he just can't come back. In fact, most people now regard him as the most manipulative creator with really depressing content. There's actually a whole video arguing why even the documentary is all a lie, aka his way of manipulating people. He's always seen begging and asking for a pity party, which is far from his original charming self. In the documentary, a psychologist actually diagnoses him with covert narcissism, with its manifestation being pessimism, hypersensitivity to criticism, reactive anger, need for admiration, self-centeredness, entitlement, and belief in being special. Anyway, as I wrap this story up, in all honesty, his entire story is pretty depressing. One part that is just really gross is that he's been dating a 20-year-old. Keep in mind, this man is nearly 50. He
How's
is
that gross?
49. That's just,
That ain't gross?
It seems like Boogie's life and career has reached rock bottom.
I'm guessing this guy has not boned a 20-year-old in a long time. Yeah, that's usually the case. She's of age, but it's still wrong. Sickos, man. Sickos.
QuibbleCop. This next YouTuber, known as QuibbleCop, thought he was onto something when he discovered a new way to endlessly spew AI-generated garbage all over his audience. Instead, he is now paying for this rather dumb mistake. When I came across QuibbleCop's story, I couldn't help but side with all the other content creators who believe he's become a mockery of the entire essence of content creation. And to be clear, what I mean by this is real hard work, real experiences, and genuinely connecting with audiences, which basically means having a personality, right? So what's the deal with QuibbleCop? I've already hinted that he's been spewing endless AI-generated videos, hoping that he found an infinite money glitch, and his downward spiral based on that content has been so sad to watch. So let's dive into it. Officially known as Jordi Maxime van den Busch, but let's just call him QuibbleCop for the rest of the video, he's not a new YouTuber. He's been at it for a good minute. Starting his channel back in 2008, this English-speaking Dutch creator has so far made about 5,000 videos, gained over 15 million subscribers, and gotten just a little over 7 billion views. Absolutely astronomical numbers by any measure. He officially started posting in 2011, and during this period, at least for the most part, he focused on gameplay. He uploaded one video every day at the same time. That's actually how he became big. He was consistent and put out good content. He became notable, and even at one point, through his group of YouTubers named Robust, he worked under the PewDiePie network called Revel Mode. Now, this dude had some serious grit back in the day. He worked with and dated the lovely Aziland, a really popular Canadian content creator, and he also did partner with another smaller YouTuber, Hassan of Tiger, now Liger, got a share of their channel's ownership, and later just took over altogether. Not for good reasons though. though, for AI reasons. All this time, specifically from 2015 to 2020, QuibbleCop's main channel was thriving. Remember, the dude was posting every single day. Then sadly, there came a decline of viewers and subscribers. Of course, there are different theories as to why this happened, but I think YouTubers Serial Introvert's theory is more believable. Basically, during this time, it's possible that QuibbleCop might have just gotten distracted by his game development company, JVDB, and also his other channel, Blue. Blue was actually a virtual YouTuber entirely generated using AI. He might have been distracted enough to make less exciting content on the main channel. Post 2020, as if to pivot and recover, he then tried doing lots of reaction content, but that didn't work well. So he then made a big announcement about making content that centered on his life that he was more excited about. But despite the announcement, he still kept up with the reaction videos. Somehow his viewership dipped. I think he just stopped being as exciting to his audience. Then the big shift came when, following a short break, he came back with an idea which I honestly believe he thought he was a genius for. He decided to clone himself. Actually, according to this tweet, he had made the decision earlier and had been working on it since 2018. With his clone in place, he went ahead and posted his first AI generated video, and it went completely downhill from there.
Today in Minecraft, I am stuck on one block. Can we survive? Watch until the end to find out. Oh my god, guys, it says break the block below you, but I can't lie, I'm kind of scared because I'm not sure if we'll actually regenerate, but let's just do it and... Oh my god, the block will regenerate. This is insane. Okay, guys, so we just have to keep on breaking this because it is an infinite block and it spawns more than that. Of course. Okay.
What was once a thriving channel loved by many for the fond childhood memories quickly turned into an absolute mess. It was taken over by an underwhelming avatar making robotic commentary on Minecraft gameplay. His fans, well, the few that had stuck around, were having none of it. The video got comments like, dude went from peak childhood entertainment to can't even be bothered to make the videos himself now. I miss the old QuibbleCop. Remember when Jordy was actually in front of a camera and not just AI? And it wasn't just his fans. Other content creators were also in disbelief at his new lazy style. He even made it on the news. And then, in the classic style of jumping from the frying pan into the fire, he doubled down on his idea. He, for example, used his AI self to react to fellow YouTubers as they reacted to his AI shift. Then, making it even worse, he made an announcement that he had heard his audience and was making a switch, only for that announcement to turn out as being an AI-generated clip announcing a more skilled AI, QuibbleCop AI.
11 years ago, I started my YouTube journey. My one and only goal was to entertain as many people as possible, to share my joy with the world, and to form new friendships. I had a lot of fun.
As much as I don't like the idea, I will admit the AI clip is pretty good. Like, it's pretty good AI. Oh, and while all this was going down on YouTube,
That was AI? Word?
he was making those weird AI clips for TikTok and posting about his like AI wife and child on Twitter. Pretty weird stuff. Anyway, the only thing that resulted from all of this is that he ruined the years of trust he had within his fan base. Not to mention he completely killed his channel. Probably realizing his career dunking mistake, just recently he has made a new video announcing the return of the real him. I guess all we can do now is stand by to see what comes of the channel. Minil Lad. Now, this next creator, Minil Lad, is currently feeling the pinching consequences of trying to sweep things under the rug, but failing terribly at it. And you don't even have to dig a lot to see that. In his latest videos, the comments tell it all. For instance, in a new video titled I Got Robbed, there are gut-wrenching comments, and maybe deservingly so, like, imagine being a robber but somehow you're not the worst person in the house. There's worse things than robbing. You of all people should know that, Craig. Damn, you should have robbed your hard drive to see what's on it. Lol. Now, if this was the first time you were coming across Craig Minil Lad Thompson, you could immediately wonder why he's getting so much heat. Well, the last comment that I highlighted is a great segue into that. When the person saying the robber should have robbed Craig's hard drive to see what's on there, they are referring to the terrible case of pedophilia associated with the creator. Now, this happened back in 2020, and while it's not solely responsible for his downfall, it's definitely a huge part of it. In June of 2020, a tweet from a girl named Hallie went viral with claims that Craig had manipulated her when she was just 16/17, while he was over 20 years old. So, how did it happen? Well, it starts with Craig being friends with Hallie for quite some time. Hallie was even there for him during his depressive episode following a breakup, and Craig helped her here and there with random things. Fast forward, Hallie, 16 at the time, develops a massive crush on Craig, and they are constantly chatting and making jokes, including a joke about his junk being small. Turns out, just a little later, they move the conversation to Discord, and Craig sends her unsolicited photos of himself in underwear to prove that his thing is not small. And as if that wasn't enough, doubling down on his crime, apparently he did it to someone else. Hallie in her tweet says that Craig acted the same way, or worse, to another girl named Ash. Also, apparently Craig was using depression and suicide as a way to manipulate Hallie to not out him. He even used it as an excuse for interacting inappropriately with Ash, knowing well that she was 17. Now, Hallie goes on to share a couple other screenshots as evidence of his gross behavior. And all I can say is that he was pretty much caught hands down, no pun intended. There was really no evidence for any of it. Side note, I'm not gonna go into any of his other choices, like for example, the whole Vanoss gaming beef that he had. Moving on, having been outed publicly, Craig went on to issue an apology and promised to work on himself. He also did a video apology admitting to his mistakes and again, putting part of the blame on his depression and suicidal tendencies. Then, in a rather weird twist, Minil Lad deleted his apologies. He also deleted his entire Twitter and made the YouTube video private. And he went away for a quote mental health break and then came back posting on his second channel, Craig Thompson, as if nothing happened. And a lot of people just took that as like sweeping it under the rug. My question for these creators is why even come back? Why come back to YouTube? Like, you know, I named this video YouTubers who ruin their lives, and I do mean that. I do mean you ruin a portion of your life if you are exposed as a pedophile. Yeah, so I don't know how you'd expect to just come back to the internet with open arms. You know, I did ask one of my YouTuber friends that's been in the game for a long time, and I asked him, do you know any YouTubers who like got canceled and like what do they do when they leave the internet? And he's like, oh, they work behind the scenes on stuff like running businesses behind the scenes or running stuff to do with other creators behind the scenes. So in case you guys were wondering how some of them maintain themselves off the internet, that's how. So it's just interesting, like they have choices. They can just go do something behind the scenes because obviously they don't want to go work a 9 to 5. Their ego wouldn't let them, and their paranoia wouldn't let them. If someone sees like, hey, Minil Lad's like bagging my groceries and they start recording it, it's like anything but the internet. I feel like at that point you get exposed for something, okay, do anything but the internet. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Let's head on to the next one. Brooke HS. 4 years ago in 2019, this next YouTuber got so much backlash over animal abuse that her career never really recovered afterward. I'm talking about 20-year-old Brooke HS, who, as seen in this video, uploaded footage of her hitting her dog, a Doberman breed. Yes, she accidentally uploaded the video. She forgot to cut that part out while editing. In the footage, you can see the dog innocently walking to her and trying to lick her, and Brooke, in a swift response, immediately smacks the dog and then goes on to shout at and push him. Now, this of course drew a lot of anger. It went viral and Brooke realized this. So what did she do? Well, she deleted the video and re-uploaded the new version without that part. Obviously, re-uploads exist, and as more people saw the video, the anger was so far-reaching that even PETA was calling for her removal from YouTube. Also, the LAPD got involved, although they didn't press any charges. Talking to BuzzFeed, they said, Animal Task Force looked into the matter. Obviously, they saw the video the public had seen. They determined it didn't rise to the level of animal cruelty. Brooke, who had about 320,000 subscribers at the time, then issued an apology in video and on Twitter. In the apology, she basically argued that she had been training the dog and admitted that her error was just not having done it right. She said, I'm always looking at ways to improve how I personally train him at home. The apology was not well received either, from some terming it as the worst YouTube apology. Later, Brooke tried making a comeback in content creation, even going more religious and promising to seek therapy, but the damage had already been done. It looks like her career and social life ended just like that. EDP 445. We've talked about people who have done stupid stuff and ended their careers, but EDP is a different story. A popular figure across the internet, EDP 445, a creator who began his channel back in 2010 when he was just 19, found himself on the wrong side of the law and the online community after it was revealed, with basically no shadow of a doubt, that he was preying on underage girls.
To be the world's most famous predator, I'll give EDP this. That takes a lot of balls, man.
Here on the Tub channel, we have 3 videos dedicated to him. In 2 of those, I smoked his pack. And by the way, he has acknowledged my existence and called me the F word.
Yeah, I seen like a guy that fucking went literally to the same place. And then like was like acting like he was smoking your pack or some shit. Oh yeah, shit. This. Fucking camera. Yeah, oh, you saw that shit?
I think so. Was he like
Asian?
Oh, Asian. Oh, okay. Nah, this one guy I saw, this looked fucking gay, dude, on some fucking rainbow-colored hair shit. Yeah.
Woohoo! He was caught through a sting operation organized by YouTuber Alex Rosen, who did online sting operations on his channel, Predator Poachers, also known as Chet Goldstein. EDP, whose real name is Brian Moreland, was intercepted while trying to meet a decoy 13-year-old who he had been exchanging inappropriate chats with. And I know that sounds horrible, but the chats are even worse. He sent some pretty explicit stuff, like, I think he even sent a picture of his poop at one point.
That was sexy. Which is
it's
sexy.
Almost like a waste of time explaining the story.
Don't you?
The story of EDP is like like that of the boogeyman. Everyone seems to know it, but no one wants any part of it. Now, interestingly,
it's exotically, it's an acquired level of sexy.
Location to buy a cupcake, but when he was shown the text messages, he admitted to everything immediately. For example, they ask him, "You did double text here, correct?" Knowing she was 13, and he simply says, "Correct." Probably stunned at how easily he admitted to it, they ask again, "So you initiated a conversation with a 13-year-old knowing she was 13?" And again, he just says, "Correct." Also, the worst part is that this wasn't the only case. It turns out that EDP had been previously catfished by someone pretending to be a 17-year-old girl, and he took the bait, even sending them explicit images and threatening them should they leak the messages. That was in October of 2020, and again, he had apparently been accused of inappropriate conversations with a minor just a few months back, in July of 2020. Going back to the sting operation, what puzzled me is that while EDP admitted to fantasizing about girls under the age of 16, tried to defend himself by saying, "My mom did not raise a fucking file," which was bizarre because he was caught doing the exact thing he was trying to deny. Anyway, what followed that is that EDP deleted all his main channel videos a day later. Then about a week later, on April 28th, 2021, YouTube deleted both EDP and Alex Rosen's YouTube channels. Alex Rosen also has a bunch of stuff he's done, which 2021 Tub has made a video about, in case you want to go check that out. Updates from later in 2021 were that EDP might have potentially been put in jail. This was untrue, however. And hold on to your seat for this one. Just about 4 months ago, EDP was apparently caught again trying to meet a minor. Yeah, after all that public exposure and backlash, he went right back into it. He was actually caught again by YouTubers Jadion and Skeeter. However, the video was supposed to come out on Jadion's channel, but Jadion recently had like a religious turn in his life where he doesn't do pranks anymore, so he just focuses on religion. So that video was given to Skeeter. I think Skeeter put that on his own website where you have to pay to watch it, so there's like re-uploads on YouTube. I watched the video, and that screenshot is basically the whole video. It was not as entertaining as the first one. This dude's life is a living hell. Ever since 2021, he's been broke, he can't keep a job, he's been evicted a couple of times, he lives off a suitcase in sketchy places, people have called hotels that he's in, telling people to kick him out. He used to work for Uber, and people would take pictures of him saying like, "Yo, EDP's my driver." People record him in public, and I've actually seen someone record him at a grocery store, and that TikTok went viral.
Who that? EDP. That's me, man. What's up, bro? Look at this nasty ass. Don't get your fucking ass beat, bro. Beat it. I'll beat your motherfucking ass in this store right now, you nasty ass child motherfucker. Yeah, you. Look at you, fuck. What's up, man? I ain't go touch you. Nasty.
But yeah, it's safe to say that EDP ruined his life.
Damn. Yeah, he
Shane
ruined
Dawson.
that shit.
I feel like this video wouldn't be complete without talking about Shane Dawson. His case is a very accurate example of the phrase, "The internet never forgets." How so? Well, just recently on December 11th, Shane and his partner Rylan Adams announced the birth of their twin boys via a surrogate on Instagram. The news got shared all over by other accounts such as Pop.
Where did they have the babies out of? This is some South Park type shit. Bro,
on Twitter, and on that Pop Crave post specifically, the comments show exactly how the internet never forgets. I'm talking about comments like, "Save those poor babies. How can someone with a long documented history feel like statements and actions be allowed to adopt a surrogate child?" And someone called Child Protective Services. Now, the reason they're reacting like this is because Shane, who has been a YouTuber since 2005, made some horrific claims in his earlier videos. But like what, for example? Well, in his old podcast, Shane and Friends, he narrates how he thought a 6-year-old was, attractive. He said a lot of stuff that I literally can't repeat in this video. When it comes to Shane Dawson, there are millions of controversies with him saying the most horrific stuff known to mankind. And there's also a bunch of videos of him casually doing blackface, using the N-word, and his admission to doing something really weird to a cat, which I'm not gonna say in this video, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know something he did to a cat, which then he claimed was a joke, but it didn't sound like a joke.
It was consensual.
Like his defense is the usual.
That stuff with the cat was consensual.
He was a grown man back then still.
Y'all can't hate on Shane
He was
for
still
that.
a grown man. Following the consistent backlash, he issued an apology video in 2020.
Making sex with a cat is not illegal.
So much. He admits that he was full of anger and sadness.
Okay, it probably is, but it shouldn't be.
On others. He also highlights giving excuses and previous apologies, saying, "I made a video 6 years ago talking about it," which was the blackface, "and I gave excuses. Blackface was something I did a lot. Like, I did it a lot on my channel, and there's no excuse for it. There's literally no excuse. He also apologized for making some weird characters in his videos that made weird jokes about kids. It's really insane that he did all that stuff so long ago, and then he had that like almost like his peak viewership. Y'all remember the Shane Dawson conspiracy videos and the Shane Dawson documentaries? And then he got hit with these tweets reminding him of his past. It's just so interesting how it can come back at any moment. I am a strong believer and people can change. I'm sure he doesn't think like these tweets or these videos. I'm sure he's not rocking blackface at his fucking house now. I'm sure he's scarred and learned from it the hard way, I would say. But like I said before, it's like if you get canceled to this degree because you did some stupid stuff, why come back on the internet, man? He's gonna live his life no matter what. We can't stop that. But I hope he's grown. That's all I can say for that, honestly. Alright guys, that was it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it,
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to comment, like, and or subscribe. It's BlastphamousHD. Twisms.